What's up, everybody? My name's Chris Marshall, host of Build Your Empire. Right next to me is my co-host and my good friend, Frank G. What's good?
What's up, Chris? Feeling good. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday, man. President's Day, everybody was off. I went into the office, I worked, and now I'm here working.
You look enthused about it, excited, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired, definitely tired, and we are going to teach the listeners and the viewers on how to build a brand. That's today's episode, how to build a brand. We're going to show you the importance of it and what steps are useful and how to give you the resources and tools to do exactly that, to provide leverage, to get what you're trying to get accomplished, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's kind of interesting because you've been with me from day one since really the birth of Legacy. And I mean, we were in a car 20 years old trying to figure out how to create something. So all of this, I mean, we've spoken into existence.
Yeah, I mean, we've had multiple discussions on business growth, different segments of where to go in life. Yeah, it's all part of the building experience.
And it's funny because you're learning the digital space, the marketing and the how to execute. There's so much to it, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I've been in it now 3 years, but it's super interesting how to look at the numbers. I mean, the reach and impressions, you understand that now, correct? Yeah. I mean, reach is how many eyeballs your message saw, and then the impressions is how many eyeballs repeated. Yeah. I mean, so it's a lot. We're going to get into a lot. Certainly going to tell you the importance of it and how to leverage it. Right now, we're going to pour our favorite drink.
Give me that peach
Ciroc.
Yes.
Which is very important. I was going to actually put a post up shortly in the next few days of my 2020 goals, in which we discussed on episode 1. Mm-hmm. And my 2021 goal is to eventually get a sponsorship with them.
Yeah.
Now, why a brand is so important is because as we continue to grow and as our audience grows, we then have leverage to turn and make these brand deals actually come to fruition.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is the goal I have for you. This is the goal I have for me. So maybe you want something, we can go get it. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that. The importance of branding. So, my friend, before we get into this.
Well, we've been quite consistent with the Ciroc.
Semi-consistent. My good friend Frank, not you, he calls me out every time I take a sip of Ciroc and says I make a face. But I personally think the face is just a face of greatness.
Of enjoyment, fulfillment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's straight vodka, so I'm going to make a little bit of a face. But
it's a happy face, though. When these peach Ciroc on ice touch the lips.
Yeah. I mean, and again, we're going to be in Montreal, so
yeah.
We have that flight coming, so we're going to that's going to be a tough Monday coming home because we're going to have to film here.
Yeah.
And then distribute it and edit it and do work there. That's going to be tough. What I think I'm going to do is put an ad out where if anyone sees our logo in Montreal, I'm going to give them $100 cash.
Interesting. How many people do you think is going to
see that?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on our hotel with like a mile radius. Mm-hmm. And in fact, it could be this video right here. I'm going to cut this up, chop it up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put an ad out. And if anyone sees this logo, I'm going to give them $100 cash.
Essentially, they would be coming up to you, or this they show.
They're gonna come up to me and just if they just recognize us, because I told you when we started Build Your Empire that in 6 to 8 months we're gonna walk into a local Staten Island bar, and 60% of people are gonna know who we are based on the digital front that we created. Mm-hmm. Isn't it crazy that Saturday we walked into a bar and 2 out of the 10 people sitting there knew who we were based on organic word of mouth.
Yeah, and then one of them essentially started a conversation.
About it,
yeah.
Now, that is the power of branding, which is incredible. But now it goes so much more in depth because it's so difficult, because he even said, hey, Build Your Empire, what's is that?
About? Yeah.
He thought this was like a money quick scheme on how we can show them how to make 10 grand real quick.
Yeah, no, it's complete opposite.
Has nothing to do with that. So I think in today's era, it is extremely important to create a digital front and a brand, whether it's a personal brand or business brand,
Yeah.
to help elevate whatever it is you want to convey and say.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, essentially, without even attempting this, you have your own personal brand anyway. You know, your day to day. If you smile every day, say hello to someone every day, they look at you in that way. So you're branded.
Yeah, but everybody is on their phones now. And the potential reach and just it's so cheap to get in front of people currently that if you do it strategically and execute, you build the following and you provide value at scale. Because it's not about you. It's never about you.
Yeah.
It's about them. How do I help the people listening? How do I help the people watching? How do I post things that are going to inspire, motivate others to do what they want?
Yeah. Well, because essentially that'll get more of a reach or more of a reaction.
100%.
Yeah, because
But-
it's kind of giving out to someone, reaching out.
But people don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were in a car at 20 years old. We wanted to create a clothing line. And one of the reasons why we didn't create a clothing line, do you remember?
I mean, I know there's a couple reasons, but I know one of them is, I mean, we both are in graphic designing
Boom.
people. Yeah.
So we couldn't get a logo. So
yeah, well, I mean, if I took something to a paper, I would be the
and
worst drawing.
we
ever.
weren't smart enough to network,
network and
or to
outsource it,
even
yeah.
Google, to go on Fiverr.com to try and get some graphic designer.
Well, essentially, that could be the hardest part of branding. I think the creative part of it, of like building a clothing company. You know, because not everyone's gifted. You may have an idea, but putting it on paper might be close to impossible for someone like me who can't draw.
Oh yeah, you need a team,
Yeah.
most importantly. But a clothing line is difficult because you need designs.
Mm-hmm.
2% of clothing lines are successful,
Yeah.
which is why many people want me to sell my hat or they want me to go into apparel. I decline it every time.
Yeah, because one, that's not the direction anyway that this is going in.
No.
I mean, maybe one day if people really want the hat, you know, and it's something you want to give to the people now, because essentially, if it's requested, why wouldn't you? Right?
It's already being requested.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But everything's
it's just
not
not
kinda
worth the time.
complete yet.
No. So we're gonna talk about branding when pertaining to build your empire right now, because we've said it now on multiple podcasts what we need to do, and we're slowly doing it, and we're somewhat growing a little quicker than what we're executing on, I feel. I mean, people are getting to know us. They're
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
the feedback. They're giving us feedback, which means the coloring, the branding, the sound bites, they're getting used to that. And none of that's it right now.
Yeah, no, it's essentially all eventually going to change, but
It's all going to change.
Yeah, I would say the stats or the numbers for me anyway are growing. It's easier to grow in a community. So now reaching out to the masses over the internet is like the challenge.
Yeah, that's what. So we strategize on the fact that you're going to be a local head front, and then I'm
Yeah,
going to be on a
yeah.
digital head front.
Well, essentially, I mean, I would love to build my social presence as well.
Yeah, of course you
Obviously,
have to.
that takes
I mean,
time.
I think everybody, you have to. If you are not relevant on a digital front, you are completely irrelevant.
I mean, I guess outside of your community, essentially.
Yeah, but if you're trying, I don't know if people understand the importance of what it is I am trying to actually do. And that is to build an audience which creates leverage to me to
one
go
day,
to
yeah.
anywhere else and position that to get what I want.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like being like almost famous, where you go out and you have your audience. People recognize you. I mean, they come to you. They come to your shows. They want to hear you talk.
So we take this Ciroc. This Ciroc, I've been drinking it since launch. Nothing changed. Peach Ciroc. I have photos for the last 10 years of me drinking
Yeah.
this. Now, next year, if we complete our goals of 10,000 subscribers, 5K listeners,
Yeah.
being certified, right? They're going to see me. Whether or not
Oh, yeah,
like
without a doubt.
they're going to see me when I start promoting it and tagging them. Whether or not they want to reach out is up to them. I could reach out to them and see if I could sell them, but they're going to see my message, which is the power of branding and marketing.
Yeah,
Which is-
absolutely. I mean, if you have an audience, they essentially could be part of that audience.
100%. All right, so a few things. How do we get to branding? Number one, first thing to do, I would say you get your logo and your theme. Like, what are you, right? I mean, I think that's extremely important.
I mean, I would say, yeah, what are you? Logo may even come a little after that.
Yeah, I mean, you need to know what your reputation is and what your image plans to be.
Yeah, essentially what you want your personality and to what you want to be about. Or what, when someone says, build your empire, what are they thinking?
I don't know. I'm shocked that kid didn't even understand
what it was.
The fact that he didn't click, he could have clicked the button.
He's obviously seen it a bunch of times to register in his head that that's what we're doing.
The people watching don't understand conversions. They don't understand how difficult it is for someone to click on a link to then buy something or to do something. A call to action is so incredibly hard to convert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
oof.
That's just, I'm assuming because the reach one isn't to every single person on social media. Like, whenever you put something out, not all 100,000 people will see it. So
10 to 15% see it, if that. It could be 5 to 20% depending on the post.
Yeah, so now you take that into account, and now with the people who are actually interested in clicking, it gets tougher. So now you want something that's going to draw their attention.
And the only thing that's going to draw the attention is some sort of crazy image or video or good copy. Mm-hmm. So last week we had pretty good copy in how we named the episode, which then converted unexpectedly what we didn't expect.
The second, 10 minutes after we posted that video, I was already having people kind of contact me like, oh, this seems like a great episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, you listened already? He's like, I'm in the middle of it. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah. Now, this episode is a little more difficult in the sense that I didn't even take notes. I just came off work, and I'm like, all right, let's freeball it.
Well, essentially, I would say it might be easy for you because you kind of already, you're an influencer with a brand on a social platform already.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? Because I can't say I've done it, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, well, that's essentially what this podcast is in general is about anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And if nobody listens, it doesn't matter because these are the steps in which, when we're at the top, this video is more valuable than it is now.
Yeah, and then this is all part of like a catalog, and then people will eventually look back to it.
Yeah. They're like, what was, episode 8, No King Without a Queen. What's this one? Oh, how to make a podcast. Mm-hmm. I mean, episode 3, we told them how to make a podcast. Yeah. We weren't on any platforms just yet.
At that time, yeah.
Now look at us. First off, cheers for being on Spotify, man.
Baby.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher.
Yeah.
We're literally everywhere but iTunes because iTunes is a pain in the ass to get on, but we'll get on there. And it's so funny because we're right now rocking a GTA logo that I had made just for the hell of it, and that's our logo.
That's not the YouTube logo, though.
Nah, well, we don't have a YouTube logo right now. It's just my face. Yeah. That's a YouTube banner, which is not a logo.
Yeah.
The logo, which I think we have it in mind. We know what we want here.
Well, yeah, we know essentially what we want done.
Once we have that logo and we have the banner, now we need to create audio. We need to create clips. We need to create a video, an introduction, small intro, and then a longer intro. Mm-hmm. And then, boom, that's like branding. And then the consistency, you have it right there. The 4 pillars of branding are what?
I had other notes for this, but you want to be memorable.
100%, you got to be memorable.
You need to have some trust and loyalty. I mean, that's huge. You want...
you trust me. I trust you.
100%. I mean, values, essentially, people are going to rock with you.
So that's important, right? The trust and loyalty is if you tell them you're going to do something and you don't do it, you lost your audience. Mm-hmm. You lost your audience, which is why it's so important for anyone listening. If you're trying to build your audience, you need to post the exact same time per day, every day. Every day. This way they're conditioned. Your audience is conditioned. When a basketball game happens, it happens. The Knicks play 7:30 at the Garden almost every night.
Yeah.
Now,
same thing with football on Sunday.
Now, obviously, there's trial and error in the sense you want to maximize your reach, so there's a different time of the day to post. But, I mean, that's branding.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then essentially that plays off of the last one, which is consistency.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not consistent, you lost before you even started.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why I try telling people with this. They're like, they're already trying to tell me what to do. And they don't understand that I wanted us to do 10 episodes to see if we like it passionately and if we can be consistent before
Well,
we
got
even.
one more episode then.
Yeah, episode 10.
Episode 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's come along. I mean,
It's only been like 6 weeks.
It's kind of crazy though. It's been a journey already. Learning
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. It's been, dude. We haven't even put money in this, and if I had $1,000 to put in this, where we aren't going on vacation and partying, we'd blow up. I'm telling you, we'd blow up. I mean,
Well, yeah. There's essentially no ads out on this at all.
no,
right
it's
now.
all organic. So to have
Yeah.
107 subscribers is it's pretty interesting, just organically. I looked up the numbers. Do you know how long it takes for a new YouTuber to make 1,000 subscribers, to get 1,000 subscribers on average?
Well, today's day. I mean, to be honest, I would think that's not that long of a time.
22 months.
22 months. Wow.
Almost 2
Way more than
years.
I thought it'd be.
Almost 2 years to get 1,000 people to watch you. Subscribers.
I'm almost thinking that once you hit that mark, then it's gonna somehow grow more quickly.
Nah.
No.
We have to constantly be thinking ways to get in front of the public,
Yeah.
to get people to convert. And that's, I mean, Gary Vee was in like WrestleMania 22
Yeah.
with like a sign
Yeah.
to get the attention.
Well,
I mean,
he's a genius with all this stuff.
yeah, but you just have to be clever and creative, but you also have to ensure that the dollars are minimized as well.
On like your business.
Yeah, I mean, we can't. So many people with the Instagram ads, when they see the promote button, they immediately put $30 in that bitch.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't do that. I thought about it, but yeah, no.
That's not an efficient way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you worked at a company where you were doing marketing, social media marketing, they probably have strategies.
100%.
Yeah. And then you have like the no-name music artists who probably semi-talented but don't know shit, putting all their money into one ad.
Yeah, I would say my company is probably fairly newer on the social media platform, and I'm pretty close with a lot of people in corporate. I should 100% reach out just to see what their brain's about, see their business out.
So I find it very interesting because my marketing, digital marketing on my company, I actually think I'm better than them. It's so weird.
Well, I mean, I don't. It's definitely different from my company.
Oh
Obviously.
yeah. I mean, but like I'm having a meeting and they're talking about how they had like 20,000 impressions for like the month, and I'm like,
On what though?
on like in posts collectively.
This is Instagram.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I got that on one post.
Do you follow your?
Yeah, but like it's funny when you look at it in that perspective.
Well, they seem like they're maybe like newborns in that world then.
Yeah, and like I would love to add value to it, but you're not heard until you really do extraordinary things. People don't jump on ship, and they don't move with you until they see you really moving.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
now we're two assholes.
Two assholes with an opinion
mic.
and words to say.
Yeah, I mean a microphone.
I would definitely look into or at least think about giving insight on that.
I mean, I do too much already, though. I don't
Yeah.
have, and I don't think I'd be receptive or accepted. They're gonna be like, "Who are you? Don't tell us what to do."
You're the guy who gave 2 speeches at the company already.
Yeah, I understand that, but those people who want me to speak should essentially be
Saying something.
saying that
So
because
speak to them.
because as much as I love sales and selling is great, I love showcasing this knowledge. Right? So, I mean, my goal is to be giving the speeches on why this is so important and to utilize and leverage this for your own personal benefit.
I mean, it just sounds like you're meant to speak to these people then, who control the social media or the marketing?
I don't know, man. I tried one
Are
day.
they in your office?
Yeah, I think they're upstairs. I remember we had like a higher up giving a meeting, and they were talking about YouTube and like branding, and I raised my hand in front of like 100 people to ask a question, and like I'm like, yo, do you guys do YouTube pre-roll ads? Like, this is a smart, intelligent question, which you probably have no idea what this even means.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I just got shitted on.
What'd they say?
They're like, yeah, we do YouTube ads. And then like they didn't really answer the question. And then the conversion of it, I'm just baffled. Baffled.
Yeah, well, I mean, how old is the company?
12 years.
So I guess that's a relative new company.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you got to realize one of the reasons why Legacy failed as an agency is because you have to go after corporations,
not small businesses.
Not small businesses. And corporations are now just entering this world of the digital age.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, I see that in my company as well.
So to sell them on why it's so beneficial
mm-hmm.
and then put money to back you is difficult. Which is also a catch-22, because the more these companies come to realization that they're going to spend money on that,
mm-hmm.
it becomes difficult for us
to do this.
Yeah. So
because the price may go up.
Exactly. So for us, where if I spend $1,000 right now, I literally can get all of Montreal to know to see our logo.
It's kind of crazy though, because you would think it's way more than it is.
People still ain't in it yet.
Yeah,
they're still not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew to do this 2 years ago, but it's the trial and error of learning. I mean, we created 4 podcasts, none of them worked, but we stuck to this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's all part of the building, the branding.
Well, now for you, right? We're sitting here off camera thinking on how we brand you.
Mm.
How do we give you your own image and your own voice? Where I'm your boy, and you better rock my shit.
I mean, you're my profile picture, kid.
That's my boy. But we got to give you a voice, and we got to grow that audience so you have some leverage. This way, maybe you want to come out and you want to sell. What do you want to sell, bro?
Sell.
Yeah.
I mean, I already sell something, but
man,
I'm not. We already said that's not one of the things you want to try and do right away. Anyway.
No. In fact, that's a good point you brought up. So people always told me like, you have to sell, monetize. Your first year of doing this literally is just a learning phase.
Yeah,
like you're just trial and error. You're learning. You're growing. You're networking.
To put any type of product in front of anybody right now at all.
Year 2, you're getting a little more involved.
Yeah.
Year 3, you begin to try and make money.
Mm.
So for those listening, I'm in year 3, so expect some call to actions and some hard sales at some point. But then again, I don't want to monetize these beautiful people who are listening and watching me.
I mean, essentially, you're not doing it to harm anybody. It's you want the stats anyway. You want to figure out who you're reaching.
But like I'm trying to monetize them, and the people are gonna help me monetize them.
So then, what's the issue? I mean, that's all part of the growing event. We're telling people that that's what they'll need to do eventually.
They do. Well, what they need to do is build an audience. That's what I've been telling them for years, and they still don't do it, and they continue to watch me do it.
Yeah, now that I'm essentially trying to
doing
that,
it, you understand it.
And and now I look at everyone like I'm not sure why I don't even see you at all. Like if I don't speak to you in person, I have no idea what you're doing, who you're about, because you're not branding yourself.
No, and then you realize that when you catch them in the bar that they actually have like a hot sauce that they're trying to make and sell. And you're like, wait, you have a hot sauce that you make at home that you're trying to sell and you are not known by anyone on the digital platforms?
Yeah, it's a problem. Today's day and age, that's a huge problem. Yeah. I mean, it's the easiest, the quickest, like you said, even the cheapest way to get out there.
And the way I look at it is my best friends are like my disciples.
Mm-hmm.
They are taking my hat, they are putting that on, traveling the world, rocking it to the end, and they're spreading the message, and that's all it is. I've said it before. I mean, the goal essentially is if there's 10 million people, get 10 million people to know your name, get 4 million people, 40% to remember it. That's all you need. There's 7 billion people in the world.
No, to leave a legacy, you're saying?
Well, no, I mean, from a brand perspective.
Oh, brand perspective.
Like, if you have 4 million people who know your name and just know about you, I mean, even if you convert 0.2% of that, you are making a killing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, it's not even selling them a physical product. I mean, my goal is, I have a shit ton of goals, but I'm trying to go to city to speak sold out arenas. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is all the building process to it. How's that face, Frank?
Were you saying that as I did that too? Like, that was just perfect. Oh man, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. What else you got over there, kid?
Well, essentially, I wanted to, when you're building your brand, you need to have these things in mind, or what you're trying to convey, how you sound to people, what are your values. So I wanted to ask you, the brand that you have built, if your brand was a person, man or woman, and they had 3 to 5 characteristics, what would they be?
That's so funny. It's so funny you asked that question. So you wanted to ask me prior to filming, and I said, wait. When I was building Legacy, I had those features in which I was training kids to work with me on these features.
Yeah.
It was the 4 H's.
Okay.
Honesty, help, humility, hustle.
Yeah. Now that we're saying this, I'm pretty sure I saw them on a whiteboard in your house.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You 100, because I had them on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And those were my principles of my brand.
And I think we accidentally wrote on that whiteboard with permanent marker. So the four pillars were permanently up there, which makes sense.
That is so funny. You did that. You wrote that. Yeah. In fact, we had a meeting about that. Oh man, we have footage of that. Yeah. We have footage
on a camera.
Yeah,
too,
we literally have that. Wow. See, this is great content, because if I was to pull up that footage and then we could recollect it.
Yeah, we were essentially sitting in.
Yeah, and I answered your question. This was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You wrote the answer. I was like, yo, Frank, take this pen. It's going to be help, honesty, humility, and hustle. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess that's an example that even this was what, like years ago now?
Years ago, yeah. So, yeah, that was an easy question.
That's why I said it's something you're going to be able to answer.
Which is why I wanted you to ask me on camera, so we had that authenticity. Because if you asked me that off camera, I would have been like, yo, we already did that, dummy. Yeah. And then it would be a different notion. It's so easy to really build a brand. Now, there's 2 questions, though, you have to ask. Do you want to build a personal brand, Chris Marshall, or do you want to build a brand, leave a legacy?
Like a business brand, you're saying.
Yeah, because it can get conflicting at some point.
Yeah, 100%, because I mean they have different necessary areas to work on, or because I mean when you're building your personal brand, that's all you. That's your personality you're putting out there.
Yeah, but also that's what gets the audience to grow, is the more people know that you love working out, and the more the people know that your favorite fruit is raspberries and you'll do anything for raspberries, or that your favorite drink is Ciroc, it gives the touch points and the connect points for people to then feel you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's like the key to get the emotional link.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say though you're building a professional brand or a business brand, but you also do have,
of course, from a social presence, yes. Yeah. From a social presence, yes. But it becomes also problematic because, I mean, I'll be honest here. I love weed, right? Mm-hmm. I don't promote that in any sense, and I would love to, but you have to be responsible in knowing your message.
Yeah, your audience, absolutely.
Yeah, where I have, 35% kids
Younger people.
20
Yeah.
younger watching me, so I can't sit there smoking discussing my thoughts because that's not the brand or the image I'm trying to portray.
Well, yeah. So then, even another point in building your brand is you need to figure out your target demographic or age.
So that's why, though, I strategically am I don't label myself necessarily as a motivator, but I'm known as a motivator. I brand myself as a businessman who has a mindset that is going to achieve massive success, in which you can't achieve that without this mindset. So with that comes the title of a motivator.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially your branding that you're doing. That's your message.
Correct.
That you're conveying.
Now, fortunately, that is so broad that the demographic doesn't matter for me. If I was trying to sell hot sauce, again with the hot sauce, yeah, I got to go into a demographic like you and your father who love hot sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously that could be all trial and error. It's specific to what you're trying to present anyway. But yeah, like you said, if you have a specific product, then you need to figure out who your audience is for that product. But yeah, I guess in your situation, you have...
It don't matter. Anyone could be my audience.
Yeah.
Because my audience is anyone who is willing to listen, who is willing to help me give feedback to help them.
So that makes this podcast almost a little bit different than a lot of things with branding, because we're not selecting a demographic. I mean, you could be 15 figuring out what you want to do in life. You could be 25 just out of college, looking for inspiration. You could be 45 after your 12th failed business or even a successful business, and just seeing how other people move. So that
100%.
Yeah.
Well, this podcast is us building something in real time, in which we're providing the value on how we're executing, which hopefully they listen and do as well.
Yeah.
Because we're betting on ourselves that we're gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
also, we have more knowledge though than most of the people who are listening.
yeah.
When it comes to the things we're talking
about, yeah. I mean, essentially, hopefully, we're giving insight or, motivation towards something.
Yeah, and then also we're sharing our friendship, in which
is making it authentic. This is another
Yeah.
characteristic that we love to provide anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, really, when it comes down to it, people they don't have the thought process of branding when it comes aesthetically. I mean, like, get a graphic designer, like, make your page look nice, get your profiles up and running on all platforms, put out content daily, talk to people, network. I'm noticing that's a huge problem, is people are looking too much into generating the content
And not networking.
So they put out 5 pieces of original content, but nobody likes it. Well, then stop wasting your time putting out the content, which is important, and then go to the community in which you're trying to build to talk to new people to then come to your content.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's a disconnect.
Well, I mean, in this day and age, too, I mean, you should figure out that networking, DMing, or texting is just the same as now meeting up with someone and talking. I mean, emails are now texts and DMs. It's all modern now. It's all social media. So if you want to reach out, network with people, just DM somebody. DM your favorite whoever.
Dude, if I DM'd 10 like C celebrities, I'd get a response back from 3. And I've done it. The celebrities I've consulted and worked with.
I mean, 30%
is pretty high.
It is high, yeah. So now if you just do it, 30% is high.
It's high.
Yeah.
Now, you may not get the response you want,
yeah,
but it's a response.
And that's just now.
And that's the game.
And that's now the consistency. Now,
That's
who
the
else
game.
are you reaching out to? What else are you going to do to now get in front of someone's face or, their eyes?
But that is another thing, is that you could talk brand all you want, but really what it is consistency, and people don't know where to begin. But once you begin, it's like what we said the other day. Then this comes up. Then this comes up. Then you have to do this. Then you have to do this.
Yeah.
Then you have to, and it just, it steamrolls.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then it becomes fun. And also the emotions way high. Man, one day you feeling like the man because you got a DM from someone you didn't expect.
Oh yeah.
And then the next day you're just like, I'm awkward as hell. I'm uncomfortable. I look like an asshole.
Oh yeah. It's definitely conflicting battles, and I could imagine for someone who's in the game further than me, as in the building process of your audience.
Bro, it sucks.
So I mean, I'm thankful for the attitude though of I'm gonna put this out there, and I don't care how you judge me. Obviously, I would love to put out content that is taken in a positive light.
Of course. You're being judged all day.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially connected to me, I feel like, in a way.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, he's just doing what he does. Look at them two fools. But in a way, that could potentially make you feel a little better. Because you're like, well, you know what? I get him, though, because that's my boy.
Yeah.
And I understand his mindset.
Yeah, essentially, we have very similar mindsets. And now being a part of this, I'm just like, I don't really care what you have to say. It was in front of your face, and that was my goal, and I want to see how it is,
bro.
But we love all of you. We
truly, 100%.
We're authentic.
I got love for my haters.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But that's why I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit at my dinner table.
No, that table gets smaller and smaller the more you grow and grow.
Yeah. I mean, people also are too scatterbrained.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do a million things
at once
when it comes to branding or creating something.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to watch out for that as well. I mean, just because you see me starting a podcast and you've thought about it doesn't mean that you could just potentially hop right into it.
You got to research and you got to create.
Well, again, it took us 4 times to create this to be semi-consistent.
Yeah. And I would say we thought we had good ideas those other times.
Bad branding.
Yeah.
Bad branding.
We had bad branding on it. 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, what I hate is the lifestyle we live sometimes off camera would go viral and get us more popping than what we are trying to do. And I know that, and it gets me tight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the authentic experiences, but also we're pretty funny dudes when we're not on camera.
Oh yeah, we're hilarious.
I mean, and we vibe well together.
Yeah, but
so
I mean, we're also chugging bottles of Ciroc and meeting women and acting fools.
Dancing. Yeah, I can't dance, so I'm obviously a fool. But yeah, no, I mean, this is us putting in the work, though. We like to have our pleasure time. That's also important. But I think my problem that I'm now learning is that I have to try and separate the personal brand and the business brand. Because my Instagram or my social media presence before the podcast was all personal.
Yeah.
So now there's that aspect of, okay, so now what do I do differently? And also I know I'm instantly being judged because my posts are different.
Yeah.
And there's way more consistent and stuff like that. But it's all part of the learning curve. So it's pretty exciting anyway. And it's good to know that...
It's definitely exciting.
It's good to know that I'm putting something out there. I'm testing it. And it is what it is. I'll pivot from it if I have to.
Well, I love the fact that you say you don't care. And that the goal is to get your message in front of the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal, to constantly see this logo over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if I want them to hear a message behind the logo, I very easily could do that as well.
Yeah.
Because I established the brand and the identity and the image of my reputation, which is built on love, kindness, and honesty.
Absolutely.
In which, if the content's good enough, it'll draw them in.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what the importance now is of having your brand. That you can now utilize that.
Which then you could leverage to get brands to pay you like Ciroc.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I mean, hopefully we gave some value. Kind of ranting on this one. I'm exhausted, but I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I mean, it was a productive day. You went to work. I did my own work at home, but we're still here. We're still building. We're grinding. And like he said, my man Chris, hopefully we provided some type of value.
Just execute and be consistent and have a strategy. And
Absolutely.
Use my formula, which I created, which is audience plus engagement equals conversion.
It's a great formula right there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I am published on Kindle over here. I mean, I had about 5 formulas in which I created in a book and wrote it down.
Essentially, you have a legacy you left already then.
I guess. I guess. Content is currency.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's a big one. Mm-hmm. And action plus execution, strategy plus I forgot my last one. It's been a while. I gotta read my own book, man. All right, man. Let's cheer off again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my sponsorship, and if not in 2021, definitely 2022. So we have another flight.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna be in the cold.
Much different than our normal travels.
Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
We figure a way to persevere, my man.
Yep. You know what we call this?
The New York beanie style.
We call this branding. Yeah, buddy.
buddy.